In 1988, when a whole classroom of students vanished, no one could believe it. The mysterious disappearance left the entire nation confused as the children were gone for nearly 40 years. Then, a woman named Sophie Ryder came forward, saying she had been part of that class on the day they disappeared. She promised to reveal the frightening story of what happened. What followed was something no one ever saw coming. On a Tuesday in April 1988, Mr. Hamilton took his students into the woods for a geography lesson. He thought it was the perfect day to explore nature, believing students could learn more outside the classroom. But this decision turned out to be a terrible mistake. The students enjoyed the nice weather, but by 3 o'clock, the school was in panic. Mr. Hamilton and the children had disappeared. Principal Clarkson, not wanting to wait, called the police. 2 officers were sent to search for the class, but they found nothing. After weeks of searching, people lost hope. The idea of 23 children and a teacher vanishing without a trace was unimaginable. Symbolic funerals were held, as no remains were found. All that was left was a single ribbon. As time passed, strange stories spread about the missing children. Some claimed they could hear babies crying during full moons. The townspeople's imaginations ran wild, until Sophie Ryder appeared. No one recognized her because she had been missing for 35 years and was now in her 40s. She didn't notice the strange looks she got for wearing ragged clothes. "Ma'am," Sophie said to a woman walking by. The woman was surprised but responded politely, "Yes." "Where's the police station?" Sophie asked, ready to end what felt like a long adventure. She pressed on, looking at the police station ahead, a place of hope in this strange world. Upon entering the station, Sophie's outdated clothes and disheveled appearance attracted curious and skeptical glances from both officers and civilians. Conversations halted, and all eyes turned toward her as she approached the front desk with determination. Amidst the modern digital displays and uniformed officers, Sophie began to recount the events of that fateful day in 1988, drawing listeners deeper into the mystery with each word. Sophie gathered her courage and told the police her story. Claiming that she was one of the children who had disappeared in 1988, she spoke seriously, her voice steady despite the incredulous stares. As she recounted the details of that day, her account filled the room, challenging the boundaries of belief. Officers whispered among themselves, questioning the authenticity of Sophie's incredible story. They gathered in corners, stealing glances at her, debating whether any part of her tale could be true. The idea of a child returning after decades in an unchanged state strained credibility, but Sophie stood firm, her story unwavering. Amidst the growing murmurs of disbelief, Sophie's frustration grew. She realized her words were falling on deaf ears. Her plea for understanding echoed unanswered in a room now divided by skepticism and hope. The situation changed when the police commissioner, intrigued by Sophie's claim, stepped in to assess the situation. He approached Sophie with cautious curiosity. The police chief, drawn by the commotion, noticed a frayed ribbon in Sophie's hand. His eyes narrowed as he recognized the faded material. Sophie held it in front of her as she waited. The chief's interest deepened, marking a key moment in their interaction. He gently took the ribbon from Sophie and examined it carefully. The ribbon provided a moment of confirmation for Sophie's story. The chief connected it to the original search in 1988, recalling the frantic efforts to find the missing classroom and how that particular ribbon had become a symbol of the unsolved mystery. He invited Sophie to his office for a private conversation, preparing to delve into the old case files. The room fell silent except for the sound of the door closing behind them as the chief motioned for Sophie to sit down. While he pulled a dusty folder out of the cabinet, the police chief recalled his time as a search officer in 1988, recognizing the significance of the ribbon. Sophie shared her harrowing experience, describing the day the ribbon was found and how it became a haunting reminder of an unsolved case. The chief compared Sophie's ribbon to the one found during his search, sensing a deep connection. The identical initials on the ribbon served as undeniable evidence, lending the first element of physical credibility to Sophie's story. Now holding both ribbons, the chief turned to Sophie with a new look in his eyes. Encouraged by his newfound trust, the chief asked about the fate of the other survivors, taking a step toward uncovering the truth. Sophie hesitated, burdened by the weight of memories, and then began to tell the story of her classmates. Her words were slow but measured. The chief listened intently, piecing together the fragments of the story as Sophie spoke. Each detail was a thread in the larger tapestry of their ordeal. Sophie revealed the loss of their professor and the survival of several individuals, painting a grim picture of their experience. Her account of their survival evoked a mixture of hope and determination to help the remaining survivors. The chief stood and gave clear orders, determined to reunite the survivors with their families. The team was motivated, but Sophie pointed out a small exit that only she could fit through, making the rescue difficult. She explained the rough terrain and narrow paths to their shelter. The chief quickly took notes, thinking of ways to overcome these challenges. Despite feeling overwhelmed, he called in specialized rescue teams to handle the tough conditions. As the operation gained momentum, the community and rescue teams came together. Sophie's story became a symbol of hope, inspiring everyone involved. Reporters flocked to the police station, eager for details. At the rescue site, Sophie showed the hidden cave entrance, highlighting the difficulty of the mission. The rescue team carefully assessed the entry and worked hard to safely reach the survivors. One by one, the survivors were brought to the surface, their emergence a testament to the resilience and success of the daring rescue operation. Every face, though tired, glowed with the joy of freedom. Cheers and tears mixed in the air as families reunited with loved ones they had long feared were lost. After the rescue was complete, Sophie began to recount their harrowing experience, starting with the unexpected appearance of a bear during their hike. She described the panic when the bear appeared and how their laughter quickly turned to screams. Their teacher, thinking quickly, led them to a nearby cave to seek shelter from the approaching threat. This decision, made in moments of fear, would forever change the course of their lives. She recounted how their teacher had led them to safety in the cave, which later collapsed, sealing their fate underground. The collapse was sudden, a cascade of rock and dust blocking their exit. In those first moments, disbelief and fear gripped them as the reality of their situation sank in. They were trapped with no way out, and their hopes rested on a slim chance of rescue. Sophie described how they adapted to life underground, using abandoned miner supplies and the cave's natural resources to survive. They found old mining equipment, remnants of a bygone era that became crucial to their daily existence. Water seeped from the cave walls, and they discovered edible mushrooms. Their will to live transformed the cave from a prison into a home, demonstrating their incredible resilience and ingenuity. They managed to survive in the darkness, relying on the whispering water and the cave's meager resources. This testament to their survival skills highlighted not only their ability to adapt, but also the strength of their spirit against all odds. The community listened in awe as Sophie shared her story of survival, showcasing the resilience of the human spirit. Her account, confirmed by other survivors, bridged the gap between their unimaginable ordeal and the outside world. Their tale of hope and endurance touched many, leading to an emotional reunion where survivors were joyfully embraced by their families. News outlets buzzed with their incredible journey, inspiring schools and communities to share their courage. Messages of support poured in, and the survivors, once trapped in darkness, became symbols of hope, reminding the world of the strength found in the human spirit.